Hola amigos y amigas. You are now with Jocelyn Valencia with Jocelyn. And I could not let this year escape me without posting some kind of 2020 year in review. Now, I know that none of us want to revisit this year, but I don't know. It was like one of those years where it's like a lot happened and nothing happened at the same time. And even though this year was so unpredictable, so harsh, I want to give it the respect that it deserves in the light of the awakening that it gave us. And so I want to discuss that. I want to touch on that. I want to talk about some lessons I learned. I want to talk about what I'm grateful for. I want to talk about some experiences that I had. It's going to be brief. It's going to be real. It's going to be raw. I am currently back home. Well, not home, because home is technically an hour south from here where I grew up. But this is where my immediate family is now. And I figured that we would go on an adventure together. You and I would drive somewhere by the cactus or something. I'd show you some pretty views and we would talk. And since we're talking about 2020, we're gonna need a coffee. So let's go to my favorite coffee shop here. It's called EXO. Best coffee ever. And if you're home, wherever you are, grab yourself some coffee, grab yourself some tea, because we're gonna need it for this talk. It's gonna be good though. It's not gonna be like all sad. I mean, you're gonna hear some that went down, but we're still here. We're still here. We made it through. And we got to celebrate that, okay? So we're good. We are good. Wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, you're still alive. You survived every day of this year. So yeah, let's do it. Let's talk. So this is EXO. They have a cute little to-go setup. But the inside, I wish I could show you all how it normally is pre-COVID, because the inside, I used to work at this coffee shop literally all the time, and it was the absolute best. I loved it. Okay, I have to share the first sip with you all, because I'm telling you, this is the best coffee I've ever had. No lie. The only thing about this coffee is that it always can be hotter. Like, I'm someone that loves like freaking hot slices of pizza and freaking hot food. Like, if it's meant to be hot, like, I want it to be hot. Okay? So good. But yeah, it needs to be hotter. But it's so good. So this coffee shop reminds me of my best friend Isaac, who literally at the very start of this year, January 2nd, transcended to the other dimension, to the other side. And I entered this year absolutely in love with life. I was in such a beautiful season in my life where I was met a man, fell in love, was doing so great in just my business, and just this year ahead was going to just be full of travel. And a lot of us have that same story. It seems like a lot of us walked into this year just like with some amazing plans of immense success. But so anyways, I was literally at my apartment with this guy. And even though we were like already very much in love, we were still really new in our relationship. And we were at my apartment and he was going to show me one of his favorite movies. We were going to watch Coming to America. And yes, it was my first time watching it, believe it or not. And I just found out the other day that my mom loves that movie. Anyways, we're about to start the movie and then I get a text from my friend back home. And as soon as I saw their name pop up, I just got this gut feeling that I knew what the news was going to be. And I was right. Isaac passed away. And that really set the tone for my year. And so every time I come here to EXO and every time I just go to these spots that we would always go to, I always dedicate it to Isaac. Isaac, I love you. Me enjoying this coffee, me following my dreams, me starting this channel, me doing all the things that I always told you I wanted to do and I'm finally doing. I'm dedicating it to you, my friend. I love you so much. And I miss you so, so much. Okay. Let's keep going on this adventure. Okay, so right by the coffee shop is the area where my festival takes place, the Tucson Hip Hop Festival. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's a huge thing that happened this year. This is literally 2020 is the first year where I work with 0 festivals and events in general, and that definitely did something to my spirit because I was just so used to festival life and event life, and not having my own festival take place was very different. Very different. It was supposed to happen in March, and let me show you around. It was supposed to happen in March. Conway the Machine was going to be our headliner. There's no one around, so I think I'll be fine without a mask for now. But this is the area where it always takes place. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna flip the camera and show you right now. But yeah, it was going to happen in March. Obviously, we had to postpone it because that was like the peak of the beginning of COVID. And we postponed it to October. But obviously, again, that couldn't happen. So we're postponing it again for 2021. Not in person, it's going to be online. But let me show you briefly how it all goes down. This is the main venue that we have for the festival, and then this whole parking lot we also utilize. And for the past couple of years, we would shut down this street, so kind of like where that crosswalk is, all the way up to where that stoplight is. So we would close all of this down. We would set up the tents, the stages, and this year we actually weren't going to shut down the street. We were just going to utilize this whole parking lot, because typically we would just utilize like half of it, but that didn't happen. So, and there's also what's really cool about this area. This is downtown, so really accessible. But this building, this 191 Tool, so this is like the main venue, but it's connected to this whole building, and there's like other venues connected to that as well, and we would use all of those. And it's just like a really cool like setup. It was a really cool setup. And yeah, I drove by here and I'm like, how can I not talk about the fact that I didn't do any festivals this year? I didn't my festival didn't happen, and we had like really cool panel lineup too that was going to take place at a venue that we had been trying to get for a while, and we finally got it. And then COVID. So yeah, that was huge. And not having the stillness of not working festivals for an entire year really made me realize a lot. Like, got in the car. Yeah, not working festivals this year, like when we postponed our festival and then all my clients let me go, I realized it was like a huge wake-up call for me, because I was like, yo, I have been basically like 100% dependent on events and festivals, and my life has revolved around festivals. I mean, running your own festival consumes so much of your life, and the fact that I was able to run my own and work with other festivals, multiple ones at the same time, really amazes me. Like, I really feel like if I can do that, I can do anything, straight up. But I realize, but that's not like I never even honestly pictured myself having a festival. I always pictured myself, you know, creating something monumental, and still do. Like, I still feel like there's another big business in me that's going to be birthed. But my life revolving around festivals was never the plan, and I honestly don't want it to be. As much as I love it, like, I've always wanted to do a lot of other things and be like multifaceted. And so not like having these clients and my festival and all of this taken away from me, like really forced me to have to not be dependent on festivals. And so I'm really grateful that, even though at first it was like a complete shock, you know, complete shock, I'm just really grateful that I finally had the stillness to lay the foundation of these other things, like my YouTube channel, like redesigning my website, and really building the blocks of my personal brand that I've always wanted to build. Like, I envision myself being a festival owner, running a conference, being a personality, being in front of the camera, doing interviews, having a podcast, having this channel, you know, connecting with you all in front of the camera. And I don't know, like having classes, I don't know, just everything that I'm doing now. And I know there's people who, you know, have seen me completely pivot this year and not really understand what in the world I'm doing. And that's totally fine, because here's the train. The train is very much like, I'm home. Yeah, I'm grateful that I have this foundation, and next year, or whenever the world is ready to have live events again, for me to do activations again, for us to move forward with our festival, which we still need to discuss, my partner and I'm really grateful that I'm going to step into that with a more solid foundation of me having my hands in other things. And I really feel like this year I set myself up to have multiple streams of income, which I've always wanted to do, but was always too busy to invest time in. And this year, I had the time. I was forced to diversify myself. I was forced to step out of just festivals. So I'm actually really happy that I'm doing this video, and I get to not only talk about things that went down this year, but I can actually show you, you know, some things. So yeah, this area is really, really special to me. I know it might have been hard for you to kind of really envision, you know, a festival going down here, but it's a really cool spot. It's just like very like, I don't know, our festival is just super like grassroots community, DIY, like, I don't know. I love our festival. I really do. And like not doing it this year really made me really appreciate it. Like when something, you know, when things are taken away from you, I know that you all have experienced and noticed this too with, you know, your own things that you have going on. When something's taken away from you, it's like you realize just how much you appreciate it and you love it and how much it means to you. And the Tucson Hip Hop Festival, man, honestly, to me, this is gonna have to be another video in itself, but it's a legendary festival. Like, yeah, we've for sure made history, and I'm so grateful to have a hand in that. And yeah, so it was a rough year for event planners this year for sure, but I should talk to other event planners and people who were in the live event space and see how I know a lot did go into doing digital events and stuff. And this year in the summer, I did do, literally by myself, put together a whole digital conference that ended up being actually pretty amazing. But it just didn't hit the same. And also, like, it just, I don't know, I just knew that putting all my focus and like reinvesting my energy into events again, but in the digital space this year, just wasn't my calling. Like, I knew that I really wanted to and had to take advantage of this time where I'm not doing live event stuff, to invest in these other things that I've wanted to do, redesigning my website, investing in my personal brand, really structuring it, starting these projects. I've started my channel, I've started my podcast, I've started my online shop. These are all things that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and now I'm finally doing them. And so I'm really grateful for that. Really grateful for that. But yeah, let's keep going. Okay, so there's a restaurant there that I love called Sace. It's like a little plaza. There's like a bakery, a coffee shop, like little stores. It's really, really cute. I was gonna show you, but there was actually quite a few people there, and yeah. And I was gonna get some tacos, but the line was a little too long for me, and I'm not trying to do all that. So let me show you the pan dulce that I got. For those of you that don't know what pan dulce is, oh my gosh, please make it a point in your life to find a panaderia, a Mexican bakery. Some of them are not good, but pan dulce, like, you have to try it at some point in your life if you've never had it. But basically, pan dulce is like The literal translation of it is sweet bread. And it's like Mexican pastries. Let me show you what I got. So these are elotitos. I love them. So good. These were my favorite when I was little. These are cochitos. I just got a few. Like, typically I would get more, but I already got some the other day. So yeah, this is like a re-up on what I already got. But these are cochitos. These are my favorite now. Oh my gosh. And I've been trying to perfect the recipe of making them at home, but it's still not hitting right like it does here. This is my favorite panaderia called La Estrella. So good. So for now, I already took a few bites, but it's just, look at this. Look at this deliciousness. When there's like little polvito like this, like that's how you know it's good. Especially like on a tortilla. Nice and fresh. But real quick. It's the little things, you know? Like if this year didn't encourage you to indulge in the little things, like a good cup of coffee. So grateful. Thank you, universe. Thank you, body. Thank you, tongue. Thank you, taste. Thank you, taste, for allowing me to experience the taste of coffee. Like in the movie Soul. If you haven't watched Soul on Disney Plus, y'all, watch it. When he was eating a slice of pizza for the first time, and he was like having that experience of like tasting a delicious pizza. Like, you know, if we did not experience that this year, of like really realizing like, yo, I am alive. I get to taste things. I get to see. I get to feel. I get to live. And we only get to do this once. I'm going to appreciate this no matter what life throws at me. I am going to appreciate every little and big thing because I'm here and I'm experiencing this life. What a miracle. What a miracle, you know? Especially for those of us who lost somebody this year. Rest in peace to those we lost this year. And no longer get to taste pan dulce, have a cup of coffee, feel the sun, talk, engage, create. We still get to do this. You know? We still get to do this. We're still here, man. If that is the only realization, lesson, thing that we walk away with this year, that is enough. That is enough to appreciate life, to recognize it for what it is. Oh, man. But yeah, so we talked about me losing Isaac at the start of this year. We talked about me stepping into this year, having fallen in love in a new relationship. Talked about me losing clients, me postponing my festival. I remember when my very last client that I had finally let me go. I was like, well, there we go. And the last one is gone. Yeah, a lot of us experienced that this year, like freelancers with the last client, people who had 9-to-5s who finally got that email of being laid off. Man, you know, it sucks. But I will say, at least for my situation, like, I'm low-key glad the universe had other plans, because without saying too much, I had a gut feeling about about this particular client. Yeah, without saying too much, I just had a gut feeling like even if 2020 didn't go down the way it did, something would have gone down. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much, but I had a gut feeling. And if it's one thing that I learned and strengthened this year, it's my gut feeling. I am not questioning my gut. I am not dimming my light, okay? Because I allowed myself to be in situations this year where it was not benefiting my highest potential, where it was not aligning with the quality that I have built my life up to in work, in relationships, my standards. Like, yeah. I'm not doing that anymore. I don't care. It doesn't matter if it's for however much money. Like, if it does not align with my worth, the quality of my work, the light, the expansiveness of my light, if it's not aligning with me, if it's not making me better, if it's not up to par with my values and what I believe in any way, shape, or form, if it's not respecting me in any way, shape, or form, I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it. Like, we really need to respect ourselves, you know? We can't be, again, we have one life, okay? And I'm going to do this right as much as I can with the help of my instinct. And if you're struggling to connect with your gut instinct, first of all, you got to have a clean gut. I know I'm saying that after eating bread. But second of all, you just got to build your trust with yourself. If you cannot connect with your gut instinct, that means that you are having trouble trusting yourself. You have trust issues with yourself. And the way that you start building that up is making decisions and trusting yourself that you made the right decision. And even if you didn't make the right decision, knowing that you're still going to take something from it. You're still going to learn from it. You're going to make the mistake and be like, all right, I'm not doing that again. Now I know better. It's always a win-win situation if you allow it to be. So that is something I'm really walking away from in this year, is like, at the end of the day, I know what is best for me. I know what I can do, what I'm capable of, what I want, who I am, where I want to be, how I visualize my life, my pursuits, my investment, really navigating life with my own inner compass. Really, just this confidence. And there was a point in time, even just a few months ago, where I was like seeking clarity so bad. I did not have clarity at all. But sometimes it just takes time, you know, and you gotta allow yourself to move through your darkness, move through the darkness of whatever season you're in, and just keep trying to find the light, keep moving around, keep trying things, keep exploring, or just sit there till you're sick of it, you know, but not standing still. Even when things around you stand still, gotta keep moving. And that is definitely something I feel like a lot of us experienced and learned from, and ultimately should be and are grateful for, because we can learn a lot from any experience and walk away from it so much more empowered if we allow ourselves to alchemize a situation, a relationship, an experience in that way. So yeah. And then summer came around, and everything that was going on in the world was happening, and whoo, you can check my real life check-in videos. That was around like the end of summer and stuff, when I was navigating at that point. Oh man, started having issues with my roommate. You know, quarantine really shifted the energy at home and between us. Like, I love her, we love each other, but yeah, quarantine definitely got to us, and ended up having to figure out a new living situation. That brought me a lot of stress. And then my grandma got sick in the summer, and then my partner at the time, who I fell in love with, you know, we were, ooh, man, beautiful experience. Oh man, so grateful to have experienced that love. My goodness. He started to shift, you know, the energy just started to shift there. And yeah, we're gonna get into that part in this next stop. Let me change the scenery.